So far you've seen a couple of videos, posts, and potentially something from Computex regarding this brand. This is AGI technology, and we have their DDR5 RAMs right here on the channel to review and to give you some bit of a showcase and basically to give you an idea about the quality of the design and the manufacturing process. Well, basically not that, but the final finish and how they actually feel. And well, it doesn't really matter in that sense, but regardless, I'll get to that point later on. This is AGI technology TURBOJET UD858 2x16 at 6000 MHz CL30. And when we take a look at the design, it's quite, I would say, minimalistic. Quite nice minimalistic. You have a couple of dentins here on the side around the TURBOJET logo, and this black part goes up to the diffused LED, which is so nicely diffused. I have to say this, I have to mention this. It's so nicely diffused that even on the camera, you can't see an individual LED. And this is how they managed to do it so good. You have an AGI logo here on the left top part underneath DDR5, and right in the middle you have also AGI logo. Same thing happens on the other side, on the back side, but you have that sticker that actually gives you all the information. And finally, well, maybe some other brands also do that, but you literally have all the specs here, except for the chips. We're having SK Hynix, but we have here written 16 gigs, DDR5, 6000 MHz CL30. Usually CL is some latency somewhere hidden. So what's it all about with this? We have TurboJet, which are basically RGB RAMs that are compatible with Intel XMP 3.0 and AMD platforms, AMD Expo. You have possibility to adjust the LED with ASRock Polychron Sync, MSI Mystic Lights, Asus Armory Crate, and Gigabyte RGB Fusion 2.0. Now the speed ranges from 6000 to 8000 megahertz. We have dynamic and programmable RGB. As I said, you can really go crazy and do whatever you want with it. We have built-in power management IC and on-die ECC error correction functionality. They have enhanced overclocking support, which means you can either just go with automatic profile settings with Intel XMP 3.0 or AMD Expo, or you can just adjust everything through BIOS if you're skilled to do that, and basically maximize the potential of these RAMs to give you even better, tighter timings and better clock speed. They come in black and white, which is quite nice, because then you can configure the build to your liking, and basically just if you're going with a white team, you can go with white team. If you go with black, that's possible, or you can go with monochromatic black and white or anything similar to that. The capacity goes one stick with 16 gigs, or you can go with two sticks in a package with 16 gigs, that's 32, or you can go with 2 times 24 gigs, which sums up to 48 gigs. We're talking about operating voltage from 135 to 1.5 volts, operating temperature 0 to 85, and dimensions are 133.35 times 37 times 7.7 millimeters. Latency ranges from 30 to 38. And the interesting thing is the warranty. It's limited lifetime warranty, but it's lifetime warranty, so it depends on the segment which is limited, but still quite interesting. Now, after checking the specs and everything that you need to know, let's do some showcase and the installation part of the RAMs inside the build that I did a week ago with some cool visual aspects. And now it's time to go to benchmark. So AGI technology UD858 TurboJet 2x16 gigs at 6000 MHz CL30 what we got in AIDA64 memory benchmark. Read speeds go up to 77,339 megabytes per second, write speed 79,431, and copy is 70,758 megabytes per second. Latency 74.2. Now, if we take into comparison some 6000 and 6400 megahertz RAMs that I reviewed recently and before, they don't either they 64 are either equal to these ones, or definitely the latency is quite nice and low, but the speeds are really solid compared to other 6000 that I tested. I was running ASRock X870 Steel Legend paired up with AMD Ryzen 9 7900X3D. This is important because of this other stuff. Then in Cinebench R23, we're having the same build that I had last time. This is average out of 10 runs, 26,450. And last time I ran 6400 megahertz RAMs, this is 6000, and I got a bit of a higher score. Indigo benchmark Bedroom 3.580 million samples per second, and Supercar 7.992 million samples per second. It kind of varies a bit here because I've got with Supercar 8 point something million samples per second with other RAMs, and then the Bedroom was from 3.3 million to 3.7, so this is quite a nice average, I would say, and that's quite alright. Now, Corona 10, we have 9.1 million rays per second, which is somewhere there, I would say, right in the middle and quite alright. Corona 1.3, 51 seconds for render time to finish up with 9.4 million rays per second. That's solid, and I would say even faster for 2 seconds for 7900 X3D with these RAMs, and that's brilliant. Geekbench 6, finally we have single thread score is 2896, while the multi-thread score is 18,123. All of these benches that I did is to compare with what I have usually. And TURBOJET UD858 really did show quite nice performance. I do have to say that. Now, that's not all. Why? Because I mentioned at the beginning of the video the quality and the final finish and everything all together. So usually when I have this type of RAMs where they're not connected above or they don't have anything in the middle to connect them, long time ago I had a scenario where the passive heat sinks tend to fall off. Now, in this scenario, they are nicely glued because the thermal pads that are also adhesive are properly placed, and they are keeping the passive heat sinks quite nice and stable. And this is really good. You do have to take that into consideration because I think there was Patriot Viper a long time ago that after some time, I would say month of usage, just the side part just fell off. That was it. Of course, you can glue it back on and change the thermal pads and everything all together. But that's not the whole point. I mean, if you buy something, it should be properly done, and these are properly done. The final finish here is somewhat matte black finish, even though it doesn't feel like matte color. So taking basically everything into consideration when we're talking about the final finish, the quality, when we're talking about the edges, the prints on the logos, there are no ink drops or anything similar to that, because I witnessed that as well. So all of that needs to be taken into consideration. Of course, the sticker is on the proper side, so it's not visible when you're looking at it like this. And I would say quite solid RAMs for the price, and this latency with the clock speed and everything all together, big thumbs up. Even though this is the first time I'm reviewing AGI technology RAMs, I'm going to give it a PC Crazy approved badge. And usually I don't give that much badges for RAMs because it is what it is. But for these ones, since they're specifically new on the channel here and they impressed me immediately, I do have to do that, because why not? Why not give a chance to somebody that is trying to do something a bit different and with higher quality and still, performs quite well for the clock speed and everything all together. So guys, AGI Technology TURBOJET UD858 2x16 6000 MHz CL30. The links are in the description below, so you can check something for yourself, black or white, higher clock speed, different latency, whatever you wish, whatever you desire, you can combine everything, and I don't think you'll be disappointed, that's for sure. So as I said, the links are in the description, and finally, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and I'll see you soon in another one. Thanks, bye bye.